Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Welcome to tonight's Board of Appeals hearing. Before we begin, let me introduce the members of town government that act as advisors to this board. To my left is Paul Hennings, counsel to the board. To his left is David Flynn, assistant planning director. To his left is Blaise Donadio, a planner in the planning department. Now let me tell you why you're here tonight. New York State statute requires that any town that adopts zoning must also have a board of appeals to act as a relief valve so that those persons aggrieved by strict application of the zoning ordinance can seek relief without going to court. Town board can give Board of Appeals additional powers, such as special exception approvals, site plan approvals. In Smithtown, the town board has given this board authority regarding certificate of existing use and some special exception uses. The most common kind of application before the board are area variances. Area variants deal with dimensions such as lot area, height, setback, and parking spaces. New York State statute requires that the board must consider the following 5 criteria in area variances. When you come to the podium to present your application, you need to address these 5 areas. They're posted here for you. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether an adverse impact on the environment will be created. And number 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. The statute requires the board to balance the interest of the applicant and those in the neighborhood or community. This statute further requires that the board shall grant the minimum variance it deems necessary and adequate, and at the same time preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions for granting variances. Special exception applications are different than area variance. When we have a special exception application for us, I will explain the criteria. Regarding procedure, cases will be called in order that they are advertised. When your case is called, please come forward and submit your affidavits and mailing receipts to Mr. Donadio, and then you will be sworn in at the podium. You will be given the opportunity to explain to the board why you need the variance. After the applicant is done speaking, all interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. So please organize your thoughts, keep your remarks factual that are related to the case. Then I will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to answer your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all the hearings are closed, the board will review the cases and decide some of them. Others will be reviewed at a later date. There are 3 ways to find out the results of the case. You can wait, number 1, until after the public hearing, but there's no guarantee the board will act on your case tonight. Number 2, you can call the planning department tomorrow afternoon. And number 3, applicants can wait and be notified by mail. We do have one adjournment. Case 17147, Glenn and Leslie Pfeiffer. Anyone interested in that case? Okay, that has been adjourned to July 8th. All right? Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first case on the agenda, number 17145, John and Donna Quinn, 142 Autumn Drive, Hauppauge. The location of the property is the north side of Autumn Drive, 127 feet south of Pin Oak Lane. The property is zoned R15. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 feet to 6 feet for an existing 120 square foot shed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. May I have your name, please?
Hi, John Quinn.
Donna Quinn.
Good. And you, yes.
The back of the posting, the mailing affidavit hasn't been completed. Maybe they could complete it after the.
Okay, but everything is notarized?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Do you understand what he's saying?
Yeah, I didn't fill something out correctly?
You got to fill something
Okay,
out in the
okay.
back, okay?
All right.
We'll do it after the hearing,
Okay, thank you.
okay? And your address, please.
142 Autumn Drive, Hauppauge, New York, 11788.
Okay. If you're going to speak, both of you, both raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, you want to tell us why you're here, please?
Yes, I'm requesting a setback variance for a shed that's been on my property approximately 20 years. I actually put the shed up when I bought the home back in '93, believing it was in my backyard. I was notified by the town after they did some kind of scaling measurement that it's considered my side yard. It's 40 feet behind my back fence, almost behind my house. It's hard to believe that it's not my backyard, but it's not. And that's what we're here tonight for.
Okay. Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen? Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Readily moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, here you go.
They closed the hearing? Did they? Okay. The next case on the agenda, number 17146, Mitchell Miller, 72 Ridge Road, Smithtown. The location of the property, the south side of Ridge Road, 782 feet east of Plymouth Boulevard. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to permit environmentally sensitive lands, depth to groundwater less than 10 feet to be altered, to permit structures within 100 feet from any wetlands to be constructed, increase the maximum gross floor area of the lot from 25 to 100% due to high groundwater, reduce the minimum buildable lot area from 10,000 square feet to 0. The actual lot area is 10,047 square feet. Reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 to 35 feet for an existing 198 square foot porch.
May I have your name, please?
Mitchell Miller,
And your address.
72 Ridge Road, Smithtown, 11787.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Now, did you want someone to speak for you?
Want to speak now?
Yes,
Okay, let me have your name and spell your last name, please.
sure. Joanne Menner, M-E-N-A, and I'm with Catapano Engineering. We did the plans for the house.
Right, but I need your address.
Oh, sure. The office address or my home?
That's fine.
585 Broad Hollow Road, Melville, New York.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Okay. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. This is for a rear yard setback for an enclosed porch, and we have a BZA approval from 1985 that was granted. Can I give you that?
You can hand it to me in a little bit. Yeah, go ahead,
Oh.
continue, and then you can hand it
Okay.
to me.
And the porch has been there since the 1970s. The prior owner had applied to the board, though, in 1985 for the porch, the enclosed porch. So I have a survey from that date, and I also have a zoning approval.
Okay. Let me see that then. Okay, you can't speak, you gotta wait, yeah. Is there any reason that they're back here?
Excuse me?
Is there any reason why they're back here?
I don't know.
This is signed by Roy Kern and Frank DeRubius.
I'm not familiar with it.
Why don't you go back to the podium? Want to look at this?
As far as we know, there was no filing at the DOB, or there's no records available. And that was the prior owner of the property.
Is there a CO for this 1985 variance?
No.
Then that's why you're here.
Yes.
Oh, there was no
Okay.
CO, I thought you said there was.
No,
CO
there's
issue.
no C of O for
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And I also have Department of Environmental Conservation approval. I have a letter from them. I also have the Department of Environmental and Waterway. We filed with them the test pits, so I have an objection from them also, but
Are they all copies that we can take?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, have the 10 feet versus 12 feet.
I will.
Okay.
And the groundwater, as far as, it's 12.2 feet to depth to groundwater.
You want to see this? And this is from Howard, but we don't have a secret then. And I'll bring it, show you down here. I'll pass it this way and then this way.
We are in the process of getting them a new survey for the elevations that they want from the environmental office.
Okay. The board is just reading the papers right now.
Sure.
You don't need this anymore, do you? Okay. Do you have any questions, Tony?
No.
Okay. So let these, you want to read this, please? You need to review, and then you can, okay. All right, was there anything else that you wanted to tell us?
No, is there?
I think that's it.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. thank you.
Planning, anything?
One thing, I think, ordinarily a variance to reduce a setback to a wetland is a significant variance in our opinion. But in this situation, the wetland behind the home has been altered so much when the development was built that it's probably unrecognizable as being a natural wetland. There's basically a recharge basin behind the house. And the whatever wetland existed before the development was built, it's really unknown how large it was or how good it was, but in any event, when the sump was put in, the natural wetland was obliterated.
Yeah, I believe also before 85, it wasn't a wetlands designated area.
Okay. Gentlemen, any questions?
No question.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, and put all those, I guess you should put all those in a folder, write all those letters, okay, thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's regularly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Let me tell you, there's no decision tonight, okay? So I have to wait for the environmental department then now to issue a secret, and then that decision will be made. Okay? Yeah, the next date of the next hearing is June 24th. I don't know if we'll be making a decision. You can call it that next day and say if we did. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17148, J. Nazaro Partnership, LP, 711, 8 Saxon Avenue, Suite C, Bay Shore, New York. The location of the property, 512 Gibbs Pond Road, the northwest corner of Smithtown Boulevard and Gibbs Pond Road in Nesconset. The property is zoned NB. The applicant requests a variance to increase the number of wall signs from 1 to 2.
Okay. May I have your name, please?
Yes, James J. Nazaro, 8 Saxon Avenue, Bay Shore, New York.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
I'm assuming you're the president of the corporation?
The managing partner, yes.
The managing partner? Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening. The application is to request the addition of a second wall sign on the proposed building, which is about to be constructed in the near future. We've already obtained our permit for the building sign on the easterly facing wall, as well as the pylon sign. Unfortunately, due to the configuration of the property and the intersection and the curve on Gibbs Pond Road, there is no, or virtually, there will be no visibility to the signage of the building face sign or the pylon sign when traveling north on Roosevelt Avenue. So our request is to have a smaller sign, as per the drawings that you have in the pictures, installed on the southerly side of the building, which would give visibility when traveling north.
Okay. Just a recommendation from me.
Sure.
Instead of the sign that you showed us tonight, would you be willing to do this sign
I'm sorry?
that you have on the other ones?
That's not the accurate one.
Pardon me?
I apologize, that isn't the accurate sign. It's as per, you have different drawings.
No, I know that. The other one that you're showing us, I'm asking you if you could
It's-
substitute this sign for that other sign that you're showing.
Yes, the other sign is the one that has been permitted, yes, not that sign. If you show me the picture.
I don't think you understand, huh?
Maybe I don't understand your question.
I don't think you have a meeting of the minds. Let me,
Mays-
all right, no, the other one, this.
The
Yeah.
board is asking, would you be agreeable to having the sign that the chairwoman has in lieu of the one that 7-Eleven actually
Oh,
proposes?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. That would be my preference. Unfortunately, 7-Eleven has come up with a new prototype sign as per the drawing that you have, and that's what their preference would be. Unfortunately, there's nobody from the corporation here this evening. Is there an objection to the sign that they've proposed?
For me, there is.
Okay.
You know, as far as the character of the neighborhood, yes.
I do prefer the other sign, I must be honest with you, but it's not my choice. Though if that's the way it needs to be approved, I will present that to 7-Eleven.
Okay. And well, let's see, is this sign lit at night?
Excuse me?
Is this sign lit up at night?
Yes, it is.
Until what time?
Well, they're open 24 hours, so it'll be dusk to dawn.
Okay.
And also, may I point out that I know that you said on the front of the building you prefer the other sign. The one that they are proposing, the second sign, this has already been approved for the front of
Right.
the building. So this would match that sign.
Okay. I know there are neighbors here that'd like to speak, so
Sure.
I'll let them speak, but I'll see what the board wants to do as far as, I don't know what you want to do as far as keeping it open or letting him come back with the change of the sign, to let us keep it open, adjourn it until, huh? Here's the other one. It's,
Do you have the colored pictures of that?
what's your feeling? Huh? Okay.
May I note that also on Smithtown Boulevard, the 7-Eleven that's approximately 3/4 of a mile west of this site does have the same signage as what's being proposed this evening,
Okay.
just, for continuity purposes.
All right. Let me let them speak, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to go back to 7-Eleven and see if they're willing to view this sign. All right? Is that okay with you?
Would I
Okay.
be able to,
Huh?
would I be able to tell them that the additional sign is granted if they would make the change?
No, I can't guarantee anything, but I'll,
Okay.
all right? Okay. I know there is people that want to speak, so if there are more than one person, I'd ask you to line up, please. Just line up. I'll do one at a time. Okay.
I'm the neighbor right next door, so I feel like I
Okay. Don't even, please. Just wait. Okay. All right, come on up. I'm going to ask you your name. I'm going to ask you to spell your name, your address, and then I'll swear you in.
Sure. My
Okay, may I
name
have your name, please?
Brooke De Silva, and I live at De Silva, D-A, capital S-I-L-V-A, and I live at 506 Gibbs Pond Road.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just feel that everybody knows what's coming. There was no stopping it, which is such a shame because
Okay,
you know it's a 7-Eleven. Do you need another sign? Yes, I live next door. I mean, that's me, right there. And probably better than what was there, I don't know. But it's going to be on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. I'm sure everybody passing knows it's a 7-Eleven. Do we really need another sign?
okay.
Obviously, there's been decisions made. I didn't even know that there was a 7-Eleven until it was done. And that's sad, considering I live there. Yes, it probably does bring the property value down, the amount of traffic. I don't know where the traffic's going to go. So I know that'll probably be another issue for a later time, maybe?
No? It
For
won't?
tonight?
No? It's only tonight, it's only the signs. This has been,
Okay. So for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, forever, until the 7-Eleven goes down, there'll be 2 signs instead of 1, and I feel like, you know it's a 7-Eleven. I don't think we need another sign, but obviously that's in your hands. I don't want to look at it, a nice glow from 7-Eleven as it is. So living there, I'm hoping that you take that to consideration, that out my window I'll see a wonderful glow of a 7-Eleven sign.
okay.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. May I have your name, please?
Certainly. My name is Fred Gorman, Gorman,
Your address, Fred?
96 Empress Pines Drive in Wisconsin, and I am the chairman of the Wisconsin Sachem Civic Association.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Are you representing the Civic Center, or are you representing yourself as a private citizen?
Right now, well, actually, I can represent the Civic Association because as chairman, I carry everybody's vote that's on the board, so I can represent. I'm going to represent myself as both because we just got started on this. I'm opposing this sign, and I spoke with Mr. Braze today. We got a copy of your plans. We saw everything. I'm opposed to it because there is no way you should be allowing anyone to make a left turn onto that property because of where it is located on the Gibbs Pond Road side. So if you're going to put a sign so that people coming from Roseville can see it to make a turn, you should realize that you can't fit more than 3 cars.
Right. Let me just tell you, you're going into an area that is not before us. The only thing that is before us
I'm opposing the
are the
sign.
signs. So the traffic and making a left or right-hand turn is not before us. The only thing that is before us right now is the second sign. So you got to keep your comments to
I
that.
started by saying I oppose the sign. I'm
Okay.
telling you why I oppose the sign. I oppose the sign because making a left turn there could be fatal. That's why I'm opposing the sign. You shouldn't have a sign letting people all of a sudden see the sign and decide they want to make a left turn, and the next thing they know, they can get hit by any one of 4 different lanes of traffic running right to the same spot. That's why I oppose the sign.
Okay.
As respects the other issues, we're just getting organized today. I will be talking to the town, and I will be talking to the county about no left turns. All I'm basically saying is no left turns. That's it.
That's not in our authority. Thank you. May I have your name, please?
Marie Gruick, Gruick, 183 Lillian Road, Wisconsin.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Am I only allowed to talk about, because I was not aware that even a 7-Eleven was going in. None of us were notified that a 7-Eleven was going in on
Well,
that
let
corner.
me just ask, I don't believe, do they need any variances?
I'll explain. The property was zoned neighborhood business, and according to the zoning ordinance, if somebody complies with everything, there's no public hearing and there's no public notice. So they can apply for site plan approval and basically if
but
they
can
meet
I
everything.
ask you, but can I ask you, 3 blocks down,
Mhm.
across from CVS, you have a 7-Eleven. 3
Right.
blocks from there,
Right.
you have another one.
Right.
If you go the other way towards the pond, you have a 7-Eleven there.
Right.
How many more 7-Elevens do we need in the area? I'm not begrudging. You can put
Yeah.
whatever you want. I don't think a sign is going to work there, because I was almost killed on that corner by somebody coming off of Roseville and making a left-hand turn. Okay? We already have traffic. I know you said we can't talk about it, but I have traffic all the way from Gibbs Pond and Smithtown Boulevard all the way up to Lillian, and it takes me, the other day I counted, 10 minutes before I can leave Lillian. So if you put a sign there, I'm never going to leave my block. Okay? I don't think we need to light up or have something lit up for 24 hours. We know that you're there. We can't do anything about it anymore. But don't you think someone should think about how you're cutthroating each other? You're opening 3 blocks away from each other.
If I could just respond, I think the way zoning works in every state is it's not allowed to regulate
Right.
a particular brand like McDonald's or Carvel or anything like that. If 4 in a row wanted to open up, zoning doesn't address that. It's not one
But
of the
don't you
police
even
powers
take
of government.
consideration of traffic? How far, does anybody stand out there with a clicker and count the cars? I mean, I've seen that. You know,
True.
count the cars and see how long it takes me. I want you to come in the morning, before it even opens up. I want you to sit on my block on Lillian and tell me if you can make a left-hand turn out of Lillian coming towards Smithtown Boulevard, because it's going to take you 8 to 10 minutes in the morning.
I understand what you're saying, but it's not like people who work for the town have the discretion to approve and deny things, you know, at their discretion. I can't think of a better way of saying it. If someone applies for a business use and they meet the zoning, they must be approved. The town board must approve them, regardless of whether or not they have a traffic impact.
But do you realize that?
That-
7-Eleven is 3 blocks down one way, 3 blocks down the other way. They're cutthroating each other. Why put another 7-Eleven there? Put
All right,
something
all
else
right.
there.
Look, we're getting off the record right here now, please.
Okay.
All right,
So
you know what?
I'm against putting the sign
What you're
there.
doing, saying is you object to the sign being there.
Right.
Okay. And we'll take that into consideration. Thank you. May I have your name, please?
John Swain, S-W-A-I-N-E. Address is 316 Smithtown Boulevard in Lake Ronkonkoma.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. I just asked the board,
Use the mic, please.
I'm sorry. I just asked the board, just take in strong consideration, please no second sign. It'll be more of a distraction on the Smithtown Boulevard coming down and through that intersection, which has gotten worse and worse.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Next, please. May I have your name, please?
Kate Santiago,
Devin Santiago,
Okay, if you want to spell your last name, please,
Santiago,
and your address, please.
6 Hill Avenue, Wisconsin, New York, 11767.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
We absolutely oppose a second sign. We're actually the property adjacent to, I guess, the storefront of the 7-Eleven. And having a second sign lit up there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, will absolutely infringe on sort of our quality of life in our backyard. I know that's sort of all we're allowed to speak on. I also think having a second sign there will encourage more people to use that as an entrance rather than the entrance on Smithtown Boulevard. So I think if there was not a second sign there, more people would use the Smithtown Boulevard entrance rather than the one directly across from my house.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
May I have your name, please?
My name is Bob Soto. I live at 59 Jeremy Circle in Esconset.
All right, spell your last name.
S-O-U-T-O.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. The back of my house and 8 other homes face that new 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven's coming. It's going to happen.
Phone
That's
ringing?
my phone, don't
Could
worry.
you shut it off, please?
Our houses face where the sign's going to be. Our bedrooms are back there, eight homes in that development. We overlook Smithtown Boulevard. Our houses are very high, and we overlook Smithtown Boulevard. In the wintertime, when there are no leaves, when the trees are dormant, we see everything. That sign is going to light us up all night long, okay? We've been there 25 years. That 7-Eleven hasn't even come yet. There's a possibility to not have that sign there. The gentleman mentions that there's a sign. The gentleman mentions that there's a sign on the new 7-Eleven on Smithtown Boulevard further down. Yes, there is. But there are about 20 businesses, no residential homes. So that sign being there, lit up, it lights up the entire boulevard. That sign being there is not a problem. But the sign being by those 8 homes and the other homes mentioned is a huge, tremendous problem. Young children, older people, nobody's sleeping at night. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, please.
My name is Tony LaCorsi. I live at 5 Hill Avenue in Wisconsin.
Okay. Spell your last name.
L-I-C-A-U-S-I.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. I oppose the sign. It's going to bring just more traffic. And as Fred said, it's a very dangerous corner. I can't get out of Hill Avenue, and I'm only the second house from the corner. And it's just going to disrupt. It doesn't even correspond with the area that we live in, because we live in a park area. On my deed, because we have a lake behind our house, and maybe it might be a bad environmental move. I don't know. I have to find out from the environmentalists, I would guess, if I really want to find out about it.
Okay.
So I oppose it.
Okay, thank you. Next, please.
Anita Bartik, B-A-R-T-I-K. I live at 503 Gibbs Pond Road. Definitely disapprove.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. I definitely oppose a second sign. I cannot see a reason for a second sign.
Okay, thank you. Next, please.
Christine Tanney, T-A-N-N-E-Y, at 8 Hill Avenue, Wisconsin, New York, 11767.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. I am the second house in. I think a lit-up sign is a disgrace. We just had a beautiful 9/11 rescue park built. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's going to be very dangerous having a 7-Eleven there, period. But I oppose of any, and yes, the second sign.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay. If you're going to come up, you have to come up right away. Okay. Come on back. Okay. Okay. So you know how.
Yes. 7-Eleven is an impulse type business. Not everybody who is frequenting this convenience store will be living in the area and necessarily knows that it exists. Putting the sign on the south side of the building facing Roseville is actually going to create a safer situation, we believe, because people will have advance notice of it being there and will have time to shift their lanes and make the appropriate turns to enter the property. Whereas without the visibility, they'll be traveling through the intersection, notice out of the corner of their eye that it's there, and will be making abrupt stops or turns that they shouldn't be making. So this is actually giving more advance notice and the proper exposure to the property. Unfortunately, because of the configuration of the intersection, the curve of Gibbs Pond Road, and the fact that the building is facing east, there is no signage where there should be.
Okay.
That's all I could say.
Let me just say this to you. I'm not going to tell you that we're going to approve this sign or we're going to deny it. I'm not going to say that to you. But I will tell you that I'd like you to go back to 7-Eleven.
I want,
Right?
For that.
Yeah, and
I
come
will-
back, and everybody
I will
agree with that?
present to them.
I just
Are you-
wanted to clarify something with you real quick.
Okay.
On
Well-
the,
Excuse me?
Wouldn't you like to talk, the board to talk with each other about the sign first before we make them go back? Because not all of us might share the same opinion.
I think well,
I just wanted to ask a
Go ahead.
question first. First, to clarify, the sign facing Gibbs Pond Road is the as-of-right sign, so that sign goes there no matter what.
That's correct.
Okay, the second sign that you're requesting this evening faces south and faces Smithtown Boulevard. I
That
don't
is-
believe there are any homes to the south, correct?
I-
Across, so you're to the
Please.
south.
I-
So
you
I
cannot
believe-
talk from the audience.
I
Please.
believe, and I don't know the exact measurement, but it's the back of homes which are, I couldn't even tell you, how many hundreds of feet away, a couple hundred feet away, maybe more. I don't know exactly.
Okay, my question is this. I know the sign that the chairwoman had suggested is a prototype that 7-Eleven has that has, I think, ambient light, that it doesn't project through the face. I think it's backlit, where the face is opaque.
Well,
and-
the one that's there, which is the old prototype, it was a backlit sign. The new one is the same thing. It's just not individual channel letters. It's a band. It's identical to the one that is located 3/4 of a mile west on Smithtown Boulevard.
Could you go back to them and see if they have, I believe I've seen the 7-Eleven sign where it's opaque in the front and the backlighting lights up the wall behind it as opposed to projecting through the face of the letters?
No, that's not correct. They're actually individual channel letters that are lit.
Okay.
The letters themselves aren't opaque.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me ask- okay.
Does the second sign have to be illuminated?
Yeah, it would defeat the entire purpose, from dusk to dawn. There'll be, I mean, of course, it would be better than nothing to have it for during the daylight hours, though at nighttime, it won't be visible in any way, but, it's half as good, let me put you that way.
Thank you.
Are you wanting to go back and see if corporation will change the sign, or are you okay with the other sign?
I would rather see this sign, however, I'm
Okay.
not the type to kind of regulate content. I'd
Okay.
rather.
Well, I'd rather see this. What about you, Ed?
Yeah,
Okay. Bill, you want to go back? No. Okay. Come on back in 2 weeks.
Well, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Would it be possible if I propose this to 7-Eleven and they accept to go to the channel letter type sign, that a letter is sent to the board without having to come back, or is it necessary to come back?
And then we can close the hearing at that point. Is that all right with? Yep. That's okay.
All right, thank you very
Good.
much. I
Yep.
appreciate the consideration. Have a good evening.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Where exactly are there homes across
No.
the street on the south side?
We're adjourning it? Oh, we're going to adjourn it to June 24th, so if you want to, you don't have to, but you can. I mean, everything is on the record already, but you can come back June 24th, unless they send a letter.
Well, they would be able to.
Yeah. Go right ahead. June 24th. Little arrow.
Madam Chair, the next case on the agenda, number 17149, Omar and Jessica Otero, 1 Bezel Lane, Smithtown. The location of the property, the northeast corner of Bezel Lane and Cedar Ridge Avenue. The property is zoned R15. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 15 to 9 feet for a proposed 60-square-foot first-floor addition and 60-square-foot second-floor addition. Permit environmentally sensitive land, depth to groundwater less than 10 feet, to be altered. Reduce minimum buildable lot area from 10,000 square feet to 0 due to high groundwater. The actual lot area, 15,246 square feet. Increase the maximum gross floor area of the lot from 25 to 100% due to high groundwater.
May I have your name, please?
Mary Ellen Curtis, 22 North Creek Road, Northport, New York, 11768. And I have handed in a power of attorney.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm here for Mr. and Mrs. Otero. They,
Could you use the mic, please?
Sure, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, appreciate
They are asking for relief of side yard for a, be able to put a kitchen table, a little breakfast area with closet on the second floor.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, it's for push out. Planning?
No comments?
Gentlemen, any questions?
No question. No, no.
Ed, you okay?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know there's no decision tonight. Okay. Thank you so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Come up, please. May I have your
Nicole
name, please?
Schuschling. Nicole Schuschling.
Spell your last name?
Schuessling.
All right, and your address?
3 Bezel Lane, Riepel on the house title.
All right, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Nicole
Excuse me,
Riepel.
excuse me, please. Raise your right hand.
Oh.
You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your name, please?
Robert Schussling.
Okay. All right. You want to tell us why you're here, please?
Sure. My family and I reside at 3 Bezel Lane in Smithtown. The proposed extension, as planned, exceeds the minimum side yard requirements by 6 feet. I have a picture from Google Earth which shows the existing proximity between the two houses. We, my husband and I, are here tonight to voice that we are not in support of the requested variance. The reasons being are, we want to retain our existing property value. We've only been in the house approximately 2 years and have poured significant capital into our house. We want to preserve the current level of privacy. One of the biggest attractions to the house was the neighborhood. In Smithtown, the houses are built not on top of each other. The planned addition is for an eat-in kitchen and added space to a master bedroom. This is not to correct a structural flaw or to install a must-have mechanical system, for example, heating, utilities, heating, electric, or plumbing. It's not, it's not a necessity. We feel the ordinances and town code set the rules, provide boundaries. They're here to protect property owners, and we feel there is a reason that they are in place. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's regularly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17150, PG Builders, 4949 Expressway Drive North, Ronkonkoma, New York. The location of the property, the north side of 6th Avenue, 341 feet west of Maple Avenue in Smithtown. The property is zoned R10. The applicant
Thank you.
requests a variance to increase the maximum gross floor area of the lot from 25 to 100% due to high groundwater. Permit environmentally sensitive land, depth of groundwater less than 10 feet to be altered for a proposed 2,572 square foot single-family residence.
Okay. May I have your name, please?
Louis Castellano, 2693 Middle Country Road, Lake Grove, New York.
Okay.
He's the property owner?
He is, okay.
Okay, can we hear this? Okay.
Swimming.
Let me just pass these all out, please.
Okay.
Want to look at this? And you can share this, whatever? Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Let me swear you in. Let me have your name and address.
Louis Castellano, 2693 Middle Country Road, Lake Grove, New York.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. We're proposing to build a two-story home here on this site. We had 2 test holes done, one by a company, and then we had an actual done by a machine. Both test holes are on the survey. They show the water being between 8 and 9 feet. That's why we had the second one done, just to verify it. The house does not exceed the 25% lot area. We designed the house to fit the lot area. If you look at the photos I gave you, we built the identical house on Harvard Lane, about 2 blocks away, almost on the same location as this house is. And what we did was we kept the house 3 foot out of the ground so that we were at least 4 feet above the water table. And it worked out pretty well. We also did another one on 126 New York Avenue the same way, and we did the same thing. We kept the house out of the ground. We stayed above the water, at least 4 feet, and we've never had a callback or anything on it. The photos show you that the house will blend in with the character of the neighborhood. It's not self-created. It's the nature of the area, so there's not much we can do about it. So that's why we raised the house a little higher. We don't feel that it's substantial variance because we've done quite a few homes in the area, all the same, and we've never had any callbacks or any problems with them. You can't achieve it any other way because it's there. What's there is there. That's it.
Is there a basement?
Yes. Same as we did on Harvard and the same as we did on New York Avenue, 8-foot basement. That's why we have to raise the house 3 foot out of the ground.
Planning?
Just a couple of questions. It looks like someone is taking a large lot and splitting it into 3. It looks like there was tax lot 33.
This lot is 98 by 105. The 2 lots next door was subdivided and approved by the planning board. I attached a copy of the letter to you.
Okay.
If you look on the tax map I gave you, I believe if you look at it, if I'm correct, the lot that we own, we have is in pink is 98 by 105. We have in yellow 12 lots the same size. We have 5 lots that are smaller, 8 lots that are smaller, and we have 5 lots in white which are larger. So we blended with the character of the neighborhood. And the planning board just approved the other 2 lot line adjustments. They didn't want us to go for a small lot. They wanted to keep all lots in the character of the neighborhood the same.
Okay, so I'm still confused. You said the other 2 lots were approved by the planning board, and it looks like it's an amendment of filed map lot lines.
Right.
But as best as I can tell from the tax map numbers here, it looks like there were those 2 lots plus this lot were all part of the same lot. So
No, it's different lot numbers. It's 33.2, 33.1, and 33 point. I have separate surveys for each.
Well, the magic number is 33.
Yeah.
They're all descendants of lot 33. That's sort of my point.
Yes. These original maps go back to 1910 when the map was filed. They were all 28-foot lots.
Sure. But there were apparently somebody owned quite a few lots as one tax lot. It's the impression I have from looking at the numbers here. 33.1, 2, and 3 all are descendants from one large parcel, it looks like. Is that fair to say?
I
or
believe
is-
that would be correct. We do have Board of Health approval already
Okay,
on
so
all three.
that would imply that the parcel in question was created prior to 81?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a copy of the Board of Health approval if you need it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, thank you.
That's it. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yeah. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Really moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. You know there's no decision tonight. Thank you.
And I couldn't find it. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17151, Peter and Lisa Manning, 55 Hemlock Drive, Kings Park. The location of the property, the east side of Hemlock Drive, 375 feet south of Tulip Drive. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 35 to 23 feet for a proposed roof over 270 square foot patio to add to a non-conforming structure for a proposed 399 square foot second floor addition.
May I have your name, please?
Lisa Manning,
And your address?
55 Hemlock Drive, Kings Park.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Now, would you like that gentleman to speak for you? Okay, fine. Thanks. May I have your name, please?
Sure. My name is Robert O'Shea. I'm an architect at 821 West Jericho Turnpike in Smithtown.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Okay. The Manning's house was originally built in 1948 and has been altered a few times since then. The first floor consists of a combination living room and entry, an eat-in kitchen, a bath, and a roofed-over patio. The second floor has a single bedroom. We're proposing the 399 square foot second floor addition, which will provide a much-needed second bedroom, a bath, and some closet space. This portion of the project complies in all respects with the zoning regulations, but since there is a non-conforming front yard setback, a variance is required in order to permit expansion of a non-conforming building. We're also proposing a new 270 square foot roof over the rear yard patio to replace an existing one. Since this is attached to the house, it is considered part of the principal building and is required to be set back a minimum of 35 feet from the rear property line. The structure will be open on all sides, and also in an effort to minimize any potential impact to properties to the rear, we have designed it with a hip-style roof which gets taller as it gets further from the property line. I'd also like to mention that the homes to the rear are constructed at a substantially higher elevation than the subject property, which also lessens the apparent height of the proposed structure. This application points out a quirk that exists in the zoning ordinance. The roof patio is essentially a gazebo. R10 zoning permits a 15-foot tall gazebo, or for that matter, a 750 square foot garage or any other type of accessory structure to be built within 6 feet of a rear property line. The peculiarity here is that while our application requires a variance, these much more imposing structures that I've described are permitted as a matter of right. This variance would not produce an impact on adjacent properties because the proposed structure is further from many property lines than larger accessory structures are permitted to be. The request is not substantial since the encroachment will be a one-story, open-sided structure over an existing patio in a neighborhood that has many non-conforming lots and structures. The benefit cannot be achieved by an alternative because any roof over this rear yard patio would require this same variance. The variance would not have an adverse impact on the environment because there are no steep slopes on the property, and we had a soil test done, and depth to groundwater is in excess of 24 feet. I believe I submitted a copy of that soil test with the application. Lastly, our difficulty was not self-created since it's a proposed structure, and the size and location of the house was determined by the original builder of the home. With all this in mind, we feel that this project, if approved, would not have any adverse effect on the public health, safety, and welfare, and would ask the board to vote in favor of the application.
Okay, thank
If
you.
the board has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Thank you. Planning?
Just something for the board's education. The ordinance doesn't require a variance because the front yard's non-conforming, unless the front yard is non-conforming because a variance was granted. So if a structure is non-conforming because a variance is granted, it can't be enlarged unless another variance is granted. If it's non-conforming because it predates the zoning, then the ordinance just says that additions have to comply with modern setback requirements. I would tend to think that no variance was granted for this house. This probably predates the modern requirements.
Okay. So what are you telling me it's really a non-conforming structure?
Well, certainly it's a non-conforming structure, but it's non-conforming, I believe, because it predates the zoning ordinance rather than because it was granted a variance.
There was no, on the property card, there was no record of any Board of Appeals applications or approvals in the past, so that would kind of support that hypothesis.
Okay. Gentlemen? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17152, Daniel Tobias, 20 Amapola Lane, Kings Park. The location of the property, the west side of Amapola Lane, 453 feet north of Primrose Lane. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 11 feet and total side yards from 28 to 25 feet for a proposed 143 square foot first floor addition and 17 square foot second floor addition. Reduce the minimum front yard setback from 40 to 37 feet for a proposed 198 square foot porch. Reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 to 30 feet for an existing 508 square foot deck.
May I have your name, please?
Daniel Tobias, Tobias, 20 Amapola Lane, Kings Park, New York.
Good. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would like him to speak for you,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Go ahead.
John Gleason, 336 6th Avenue, St. James.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The Tobias family is here tonight for variance for a couple of different setbacks, front yard, side yards, and rear yards. They're proposing to put an addition on their house and also legalize a rear yard deck. The main reason for the addition to the home is to aid their son, whose only means of getting around the house is by a wheelchair. So the main purpose of this addition is to install an elevator. I believe the elevator, and Dan can elaborate, has I believe 3 stops on it. The location of this elevator is really the only spot that's logical to have it in the house. It's a split level house, so it has about 4 levels to it. The wood deck is in the rear yard, as I mentioned. We're asking from 50 feet to 30 foot setback, and it was a built prior deck from the homeowner. We don't believe our variances are substantial. The side yard we're asking for relief of 1 feet, I believe 3 feet in the front yard for a proposed porch to kind of enhance the front of the house. And the rear yard from 50 feet to 30 feet may sound substantial, but the deck is on the same level as the kitchen and the dining room. It provides an easy means for the wheelchair and to get outside and provide a nice space, 500 square feet. And the deck's only about 3 feet off grade. So it's kind of shielded by the neighbors, okay? So that's really the background of the proposed project, as I mentioned. And Dan can give a little background of why they decided to stay in Kings Park and do the improvement, the proposed addition and the elevator, okay?
Basically, we want to stay in Kings Park. We looked at two alternatives, moving out of state. The services that are provided within state are so much better for our child. Kings Park has the school district that we desire. We tried looking into other means within the district, but the cost of the house, taxes, would really be less cost effective than putting this type of major improvement into the house. And then the ongoing tax burden after the initial investment and upgrading another house. We live on a great block. Our neighbors, we all have a great rapport with our neighbors. As you can see, none of them are here to complain. The elevator is a necessity. My son is cognitively fine, physically challenged. He's going to be driving around in an electrical wheelchair, and we want him to have as much access to the property as possible, exterior-wise and interior-wise. And that's why we want to put the elevator in and give him access to the deck.
Okay,
Thank you for your time and your
Planning, anything?
consideration.
Gentlemen?
No question.
Thank you
Any
so much.
questions? Okay, thank
Nope,
you
we're
very
good.
much.
Thank you. Good night. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17153, Joseph Ocone, 40 Dartmouth Drive, Smithtown. The location of the property, the north side of Dartmouth Drive, 161 feet west of 50 Acre Road. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum side yard from 12 to 3 feet and total side yards from 28 to 17 feet for an existing 128 square foot shed.
May I have your name, please?
Joseph Alcone, 40 Dartmouth Drive, Smithtown, New York.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. I'm here to apply for a variance for an existing shed. I don't think it changes the character of the neighborhood. I know that several of my neighbors have sheds also. I don't have the room for storage, and I use the shed for yard tools and my children's bikes and toys. I don't believe it will have an adverse effect on the environment. It's just a regular shed used for normal storage. And again, it's not substantial. For the reason, again, that it's very similar to other sheds that my neighbors have. So, thank you for your consideration.
Okay. Wanna look at this? Okay. Planning, any questions? Anything?
No.
Gentlemen?
No question.
Ed, you all right? Or you
Yeah.
you have a question?
No.
Okay,
I just want to read it.
okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Ready, moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17154, James Viola, 23 Mayflower Avenue, Smithtown. The location of the property, the east side of Mayflower Avenue, 259 feet south of Edgewater Avenue. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 40 to 27 feet for an existing 87 square foot porch.
Is this your house? Yeah, well, you'd have to label them with the addresses when you took the picture, your name or anything, or unless you just want us to look at them now and then. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this affidavit's not completed on the reverse side either.
Okay. But he has everything else? Correct. Okay. So after the hearing, you need to do the back of that affidavit, all right?
Sure.
These are pictures of other homes.
My name is James Viola, Viola, 23 Mayflower Avenue, Smithtown, New York.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so back in January, I came here for a variance for a minimum setbacks so I can get approved for a small dormer extension on my house. And in the process, we got approved for that, so I appreciate that.
And you're back?
Yeah, I'm back because we found out that my porch doesn't have the proper CO.
Oh.
So now I need a variance for that because now we're submitting a porch plan. It doesn't detract from the neighborhood. Like I have pictures of the neighboring houses that have similar porches. Basically, that's it.
Okay. Planning?
No comments there.
Right.
No question.
Eddie Jensen, no? This, no? I'll take those small pictures and give it back to him. Okay. You're welcome. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Rarely moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay.
Did you bring the whole office with you? What do you got there?
On Miss Sarah, I wanted to put two conditions on. I wanted to put two conditions on. I don't know if you're going to agree with me. To put an archway in and an RC, restricted covenant. That's what I was thinking. I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, huh? Yeah. I mean, it's really a two-family home. But we'll see whatever you think. Okay?
Madam Chair, the next case on the agenda, number 17155, Bloomin' Brands, Inc., 2202 Northwest Shore Boulevard, Tampa, Florida. The location of the property is the northeast corner of Middle Country Road and Alexander Avenue in Lake Grove. The property is zoned SCB. The applicant requests a variance to increase the maximum height of a proposed wall sign from 15 to 24 feet.
Good evening, Madam Chair, fellow board members. For the applicant, Bloomin' Brands, Inc., David Altman from the law office of Brown & Altman, LLP, 538 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 110, Melville, New York. Actually just moved last week, so it's taking a little getting used to, but good to see everybody. Here on behalf of the applicant, Bloomin' Brands, in connection with its application for a height variance for a wall sign in connection with a Bonefish Grill restaurant to be located at the southwest portion of the Smith Haven Mall. Bloomin' Brands is a Tampa, Florida-based entity located at 2202 Northwest Shore Boulevard in Tampa, Florida. The property, or the physical address of the Smith Haven Mall is 313 Smith Haven Mall, Lake Grove, New York. The tax map number for the subject parcel is 800-114-423.9. I'll note for the record that as to that particular tax parcel, which partially comprises the mall, it's approximately 21.40 acres. As the town, I'm sure the board is well aware, the Smith Haven Mall is one of the three major economic centers within the town, the others being, of course, downtown Smithtown and the Hauppauge Industrial Park. Bloomin' Brands is looking to install and is in the process of installing a Bonefish Grill, proximate to what is now P.F. Chang's, just to the east, J.C. Penney's, further to the east. And if you go to the west, of course, you have Barnes & Noble, and then the Cheesecake Factory. The proposed height of the sign at issue is 23 feet 6 inches. Code in the SCB district permits 15 feet. I'll note for the record that the other stores, retail stores, which I just mentioned, all have signs of substantially greater height than what is proposed here. The sign at issue is, in fact, with the overall character of the wall signage in the mall. In fact, fairly recently, this board granted a wall sign variance to Bonefish's soon-to-be neighbor, P.F. Chang's. That variance was granted November 12th, 2012, case number 16805. The height of that sign is 25 feet, where we're only proposing slightly less at 23 feet 6. Again, the proposed wall sign is in keeping with the character of the area. No other variances are required. In connection with the signage, we would ask that the board look favorably on the application. I believe the application on the whole meets and comports with the balancing test under Section 267B of the town law, and ask that the board look favorably. I do, however, have a modified sign diagram that I'm just going to submit into the board, if you don't mind, Madam Chairman. There was a Scrivener's error on one of the dimensions, so I just want to correct that for the record.
Okay.
I think you have it in your hand right now.
Is this all in black?
Say again?
The coloring, is it all black?
The sign
Yeah.
is pretty much as you see, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
This was originally 4, it's half 3.
Okay. There's a little bit of a change. Yeah. This is a 3 now instead of the 4. Do you want to look at this? Measurements, mounting, hardware. Okay. This is a 3 now instead of a 4.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, answer any questions from the board.
Are there any planning?
I would just like to say, Madam Chairman, that the zoning ordinance can't be designed for all circumstances, or shouldn't be designed for all circumstances. And like most zoning ordinances, so the sign height regulation is intended for normal situations. And normal situations, the building is set back about 50 to 100 feet from the road. And you can see that in this situation, the sign is set back about 7 to 14 times further than normal. So it's understandable that the height should be somewhat higher than normal.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen, any other questions? No questions. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Flynn.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17156, Kevin Conan, 16 Smith Street, Nesconset. The location of the property, the southwest corner of Smith Street and Nichols Road. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce minimum front yard setback from pavement on Nichols Road from 26 to 12 feet and reduce the minimum front yard setback on Smith Street from 40 feet to 0 for a proposed 6-foot fence. Reduce the distance from any lot line from 2 feet to 0 for an existing 80-square-foot shed.
The rear of this one's not complete as well. So if you could conduct the hearing, I'm sure you'll complete it after you're done.
Fill it up.
Thanks.
Okay. May I have your name, please?
My name is Kevin Conan, 16 Smith Street, Nesconset, New York, 11767.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. All right, you want to tell us why you're here, please?
Yes, I want to erect a fence in my side yard. It was originally woods when I bought the house. I cleared the land, and now it's exposed to Nichols Road. I'd like to put it up for security and for privacy. I live on a corner, so I dedicated the corner to the town to make the corner safer for the turn off of Old Nichols Road onto Smith Street. I donated about 25 feet on the Nichols Road side and 43 feet on the Smith Street side. And I would like to erect a fence back further than where the sidewalk would be if they were to put one there. My neighbor has a sidewalk, so I'm going to put it a couple of feet back from where his is on Nichols Road. And then I'm going to come up where I dedicated the corner, and then I'm going to go along Smith Street and back up to my house. And when I submitted this to the town, they said I had a shed in my backyard that was there before I bought the house 10 years ago, and they wanted me to go to variance for that because it's maybe like less than a foot from my neighbor's fence. And it shouldn't be a problem with him because he has a shed pretty much a couple of feet away from it, and it's not very far away from my property line, so there shouldn't be a problem with the shed. So the fence is going to be 6 foot high, white vinyl. Some of my neighbors have the same fence in their property, and I don't think there should be a problem with that. So it seems kind of simple. If you have any questions, I'll
Okay.
answer them.
Just a second. Planning?
The application says that you want to reduce the front yard for the fence on Smith Street to 0, but the plan seems to scale around 3 feet. Do you know, is the plan accurate or is the public notice accurate?
Well, 0 would be not accurate because it would be right on the property line. I want to bring it back so if there's ever a sidewalk put there, I wouldn't have to move the fence. So I'm going to put it probably further back than 3 feet even. I'm going to move it.
Maybe I wasn't clear. I think when you were saying the sidewalk, I thought you were talking about Nichols Road.
Yes, that side is going to be back 12 feet.
From the curb.
And the one that's going to be on Smith Street, I'm even going to put it, I'll put it exactly where you guys want it. I mean, if it's okay to put it up to the line where I have it on the plan, fine. But I would like to put it to leave enough space for a sidewalk if one was ever to be constructed. So I want to bring it way back, probably 12 feet, same as the other side. This way, if the town ever wanted to put sidewalks in, I would never have to move it, and I'd just leave it alone.
Okay, it's really commendable. Hopefully the town would not put sidewalks on your property, but only on public property. I was just trying to clarify, like, if the board approved this, where the fence would end up.
It would end up 12 feet back from the property line.
On both, or not from the property line, from the curb, you mean, right?
From the curb.
On both streets?
Yeah, the sidewalk now is 10 feet back from the curb. I want to go 12 feet, give it a couple feet.
There's no sidewalk on Smith, is there?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
Not in that whole neighborhood. Going down Smith, there's no sidewalks at all.
Right.
The sidewalks, you could see it on on the plan here, the survey. My neighbor has a sidewalk, but that's where it ends.
The neighbor on Nichols?
Yeah.
Okay. And just looking at it, it looks like the sidewalk is set back 5 feet, and then there's a 4-foot walk, and the back of the walk is probably about 9 or 10 feet from the curb?
It's actually 10. I took a tape measure, and from the curb to the inside of the sidewalk, which is where the house side of the sidewalk, is 10 feet.
Right.
And then I'm going to go 2 feet back from that. So
I understand.
If they ever want to put a sidewalk in, it'll be no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Anyone, any other questions, gentlemen? Thanks so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going now to the adjourned hearings.
Madam Chair, the first case, number 17113, Virginia Massaro, 9 Addie Lane, Nesconset. The location of the property, the north side of Addie Lane, 387 feet east of Lake Avenue. The property is zoned R15. The applicant is requesting a special exception to permit living quarters for family members. Variance of a special exception standard to increase temporary living quarters from 600 square feet to 1,553 square feet. Variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 45 to 40 feet for an existing 137 square foot porch. Reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 to 6 feet for an existing 284 square foot deck. Reduce the side yard setback from 16 to 3 feet for an existing 64 square foot shed. Reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 feet to 2 feet and distance from any lot line from 3 feet to 1 foot for an existing 540 square foot freestanding deck. Reduce the total side yards from 34 to 8 feet. Reduce the side yard paving setback from 1 foot to 0.
Wait a minute. No, these are revised. I don't think that one is revised. It's up to you. I can't see.
We have a notary. Fill it out tonight.
They don't even have it with them, do they?
We're gonna have an extra one here somewhere now.
There might be one in one of the boxes.
I don't think we have.
I can notarize it by hand, but I don't have my stamp.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What did he say?
We should have one.
I don't know. Is there any other attorneys here?
Blaze is a notary.
Oh. Okay. That's the
It's okay to do it by hand, right? I don't have to use the stamp. I have it
Yep,
on my.
there's only-
yeah. I can fill it in.
This is one, all right, do you have a
Put it in mark down a little.
revised one? I think there's only 2 revised ones. You put-
Really? I didn't know that.
Big.
Oh. Ah.
They'll have to share. Okay. Oh, you have a stamp too? Okay. May I have your name, please?
Virginia Massaro, 9 Addie Lane, Nesconset, New York.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Okay. This gentleman will speak for you. Go ahead.
My name is Ricardo Cervini, Cervini, 229 Smithtown Boulevard, Nesconset.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Basically, where we left off in the last meeting in April, there was 2 things that we had to do. Revise the drawings, which we did. I believe you have the sets there. The other main point was that we're going to withdraw the special exception. So we want to formally do that tonight. Now, the 3 sets of drawings, did you have a chance to look at them, or?
I did, yes.
Okay. So we worked out a plan with the building department. I'm not sure if the building department approved it yet, but I believe I was speaking to Blaze, and he said that they would have to formally, issue a notice that the plans that we provided would be acceptable. So you would base your decision on that.
Okay. Let me just tell you.
Okay.
I probably, and I don't know how the other board members feel, I probably would put some conditions on.
Okay.
All right. First of all, to me, this is a 2-family home. I would put a condition on restricted covenants saying that this would never be rented.
Well, yeah, it's a mother and daughter that live in the house, and I believe that the property owner also signed a document stating that it would always remain a single family and it was submitted to the building department.
Right, but I would ask that you did a restricted covenant. Did
So
have
you
a
want to
prob-
file with the county?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing that I considered is putting an archway in, so this way that we know that it's open, so it's definitely not it's going to be a single family, not a two family.
Yeah, well, that was discussed with the new building chief,
Right.
Mr. Enrico. So a different provision was provided. If you take a look at the drawings.
I did.
Okay, so you're not comfortable with that?
No, I'm not, but I'm just going to tell you that I'm only one vote.
Okay.
So I don't know how the other members feel at all, so.
Well, the reason, I could bring Virginia back up and she can explain, if you want to come up, the reasoning why she cannot put the archway in.
My husband is a very sick man. He has a laryngectomy. And this is why we had this put up prefabricated, because the construction, he's not allowed to have that dust in his stoma. And he cannot be removed out of the house. So this is why we didn't want to start knocking walls down that have been up there for 36 years now to make him get sick again. And it's my daughter that's downstairs, so I feel if that could be possible, I would greatly appreciate that, not to have him have this construction.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Now, you're still, my understanding, you're still removing that stove?
Yes.
The
they're
oven,
gonna
the
remove-
stove?
They're going to remove the stoves, correct.
And the sink?
If that's required, yeah, if that's what they have to do. But we spoke to Joe Enrico, and he said it's just to eliminate the stoves. If that's a requirement that you need, then in order to get this approved, then I guess that would have to be done.
All right. Planning?
Madam Chair, as you know, we had a conversation with the Director of Building earlier today, Mr. Arrico, and he did explain to us the scenario that he laid out for Mrs. Massaro with respect to removing certain items from the second floor in order to deem the house a single-family residence. And the two requirements that he came up with was to remove the stove and oven combination and also to remove the kitchen sink. He did also mention to us that he certainly felt comfortable with having an archway opening created on the first floor. He felt that that was, he seemed to feel that it would be easier overall for the applicant to achieve their goal by opening up the archway on the first floor, creating access between the first and second floor without any restrictions, without having to go through the trouble and the expense of removing the oven and the sink. Apparently, Mrs. Massaro is not able to do that, so based on what the building director has recommended, you know, we're certainly supporting what he's telling us because he is looking at the code saying that these are the requirements that have to be met in order for the house to be considered a single-family home. He also did mention, however, that if the board felt it appropriate, that the board could impose additional conditions or additional restrictions if they felt that they were warranted in order to ensure that the status of the house was, in fact, single-family.
Well, I guess on that particular issue, then it's, there's no further comment to be said. But the other items, which are minimal, as part of the variance that was, Blaze had mentioned in the beginning, if the board would approve those, we don't believe that should have a negative impact with the community.
All right, is there anything else? And gentlemen, any other questions?
So when do you think the board's going to make a decision on this?
We can't make a decision tonight. There's no secret.
Okay.
So,
Why is it taking so long?
that's not
You know,
my
just
department.
a question, right?
I really don't know. You would have to take that up with the environmental department. If if we get it before the next meeting, then we'll make a decision,
Okay.
all right?
All right, so possibly by June 24th, we could have some type of decision?
Possibly, yes.
Possibly? Okay.
Okay? Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Is it really moved in second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Haven't had that happen in a while. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17125, Heidi Kusati, 12 Wood Hollow Lane, Fort Salonga. The location of the property, the west side of Wood Hollow Lane, 1,172 feet south of Meadowwood Lane. The property is zoned R43. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 60 to 58 feet for a proposed 71 square foot portico.
Hi, may I have your name, please?
Heidi Casati at 12 Wood Hollow Lane in Fort Salonga, New York.
Okay, great. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm here tonight to request a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback by 2 feet, from 60 feet to 58 feet. This would be needed in order to build a portico over the front door entry. Only the front right corner of the portico roof would go over the setback by 1.6 inches. The front yard setback line runs diagonally across the front steps, or the property line. The structure would provide further beautification to the neighborhood, sustaining or increasing the existing property values. The structure is mainly to provide needed safety for the exposed elevated front door entry that is prone to icing and becomes very slippery in the winter when all the rain and the snow piles up right outside the front door. And actually, when you open the front door, all of that blows into the house as well. I cannot achieve this by an alternative measure because only a covered front roof over the front door would provide needed shelter and safety for those who are coming over to the house or have to come to the front door. The portico would not alter any drainage or runoff from the property. The difficulty was not created by myself or the former owner, but I believe it was created by the builder who ill-designed a house without a covered front door access. Having only lived in the house for 2 years, we overlooked the importance of purchasing a house with an existing front door entry. So I'm all set. Thank you.
Good. Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen?
No question.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Have a good night.
Yeah, too. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
And really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, do you want to read the next one?
The next case on the agenda, number
Oh, wait a
17137.
minute. Oh, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
I can't do both?
Jeez, Rick, come on.
Come on. Yeah, I know. I want to know what position they were in after Monday, after Saturday. Rick and his partner. Who won? Well, you didn't write me any letters.
I don't want to gloat.
Who came in second? Oh, did they? Oh, boy.
Ready?
Good.
The next case, number 17137, Smith Haven Mall, 313 Smith Haven Mall, Lake Grove. The location of the property, the northeast corner of Middle Country Road and Alexander Avenue. The property is zoned SCB. The applicant requests a variance to increase the maximum area of a ground sign from 32 square feet to 104 square feet, to increase the maximum area of a second ground sign from 32 square feet to 52 square feet.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. My name is William Benesso. I'm partner with the law firm of Forcelli, Curto, Deegan, Schwartz, Mineo, and Tirana, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York. I'm here this evening on behalf of the applicant, Smith Haven Mall. The mall is seeking variances from this board to permit 2 new ground signs, as Mr. Donadio mentioned. It is part of the mall's wayfinding, updating signage program. The mall has already received approvals and installed new wayfinding signage on Moriches Road in the Lake Grove portion of the property. And now they are seeking to do the same on the Smithtown side of the property for the 2 signs in question. The area in question is the westernmost driveway entrance along Jericho Turnpike for the mall, and the proposal is to install 2 monument-style signs, each one being approximately 9 feet wide by 5 feet tall. The sign that is to be situated closest to Jericho Turnpike is a double-sided sign stating Smith Haven Mall. It is 104 square feet in total. It is illuminated with interior lighting lit by LED lighting. The second sign is set back at the end of the drive aisle and is more of a directional sign in that it provides motorists with directions to go left or right depending on what stores they want. It too is 52 square feet per side. However, it is a one-sided sign. It is not two-sided. That sign is also not illuminated. The only illuminated sign is the sign out at the street. The signage is, again, part of an overall program at the mall. They would like to have a consistent look to the mall. In addition, as that is a second driveway on the Jericho Turnpike side, the sign at the or close to the property line will provide motorists who do move at a relatively high rate of speed with some warning and some indication as to where the westernmost curb cut is, so that they can enter the mall. Provides them the ability to more safely change lanes, slow down, and prepare for the turn into the property. The Suffolk County Planning Commission has recommended local determination. There's already been a secret determination of neg deck on this, so I believe that if the board deems these appropriate, it could approve the applications this evening.
Okay, thank you. Planning?
The Planning Department recommends approval for a number of reasons. Most importantly, if you're looking at planning for the future of the town, the economic success of the Smith Haven Mall is important to the town. It's important for goods and services for the residents. It's important for employment, and it's an important part of the town's tax base. If the mall is successful, it also helps the property values throughout the town and the surrounding area. In looking at the signs that they propose, they don't look like they have an impact on any of the properties. And because of the unique nature of the mall itself, its size, its location, the shape of the building, we, at least in our opinion, this would not set a precedent implying that other kinds of places that don't need signs should be granted variances. So based on those reasons, we recommend that the board approve it.
Thank you. Gentlemen, any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Regularly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. That concludes our hearings for tonight. Thank you so much.